I swallowed so much of a bubba, and when I was younger, my mum was like, "Oh, it'll stay in your body for like 9 years," and I think it's about time that it comes out.
I feel like all these songs could have been extracts from about 3 other albums.
Imagine being an orphan.
Never got daddy issues. Can't relate. Shit.
Objection.
In fact, Denver, do you know when you just do your album picks like every time and change the intro to yours just being album review? This is the album. Now let me say a bunch of things you disagree with.
Has the genre gone stale?
Alright, so what I thought of this album was actually no joke. Could you summarise what I was going to say?
Yeah, sure. So what Aidan was going to say about this album is, welcome to Album Review!
Yeah.
This is an album. This is a podcast where we review albums. That's Aidan, that's Denver, and that's Will.
And did that
today,
pointing work on stream?
It does,
yeah, it does.
Today, we are reviewing Caskets, Lost Souls, and it's me to kick it off.
Denver gives so little fucks, he's just covering his own face with his phone.
No, I know what he's doing. It's because I did this last week and on his album review, and he's
in fairness, you did it on everyone's album review, so
And I
he
would-
seems to have taken it
Right, and
more personally than anyone else did.
I've noticed it as well on editing. Joe, you pretty much go on your phone quite a lot while people are talking. Yeah, all the time.
It's because mine. It's because my.
Well, yours is done.
For
Like,
years, it wasn't exposed because we couldn't see him.
No, we can see it.
Maybe, but my opinion is the only one that matters. So there's probably an element of that to it. But this album, I thought, was fantastic. Fantastic. It was refreshing because we had that kind of break for album review, and I feel personally we haven't had something like amazing since that little break, other than maybe Home Team. I can't remember when that break was. Because we had like quite a long one, didn't we?
Are you saying this is amazing?
I'm saying I think this is amazing.
Whoa!
Wow! I think it's quite refreshing to hear this type of like music without the whole screamo death metal feel like you're about to get murdered in an alleyway type of vibe, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And actually have like the melody. He's got a pretty good voice. You know, the instruments were great. Just the hooks were great in every song. Probably could be a bit more variety, but I think they kind of just found like a style that worked for them. I think this is their only album, isn't it? So they must have just gone, here's our style, and done it. I don't know.
They've just smashed. So do you think they would struggle with the second to like beat it? Have a bit like a catfish in the bottom problem?
I think so, yeah, because I feel like they can't just do this all the time.
Well, isn't this their most recent album?
It's their only album, Aidan.
Oh, what is it? Just like a load of singles? Oh my god, it is. It's just like a load of random.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it was only last year, right? So
wait, so these guys are like super relatively new, and they're getting more views than Don Broco, a band that actually try.
What do you mean actually try?
Actually try.
Oh, is that
Aidan.
Controversy?
The early dig.
The controversy started already.
Oh, did I say that?
What? I don't know how you say these guys. They obviously put a lot of passion. There's a lot of emotion in the songs. It's great. There's a lot of like just like crazy good riffs. I don't know how you can say that. It's pissed me off. That pissed me off.
just a hint of Aidan maybe not agreeing with a statement you made. Yeah, I'm pissed off now.
That's it. 0 to 100.
Live for the chaos.
I feel like this genre of music, although we didn't get a lot of the screamy stuff, I feel like it falls under this unfortunate thing that I feel like a lot of other genres do, is that all the vocalists are just the more we've listened to these albums, all the vocalists are just starting to sound the same. They all sing in like the same range. They all have like the same kind of is it timbre? What, like the texture of their voice? They all have that kind of same raspiness and everything to their voice.
You could almost say
like this.
Any artist that makes this similar music could also sing over this and it sound fine.
Yes, I feel like all
Like-
these songs could have been extracts from about 3 other albums we've
Like
listened to.
you know, we listen to a lot of metal bands that have like the screamo guy and then the singy guy who's actually really good.
God,
I feel
as
like you
much
could
as I
put
try and forget it,
any of the
yes.
ones that we listen to. I feel like you could put the good singy guy on this album, and it would just be the same. I'd feel the exact same way about it. You know. Although I don't want to take too much away from him because he is a really good singer, but it's just this genre just is starting to sound very samey.
Would you say that it's not helped by the fact we listen to fucking albums all the time, though? In a sense, because would we not notice this as much? Like I don't know.
Yeah, well, I
know,
don't
but-
listen to this kind of music all the time, and
I feel
It's just
like
albums
we are
in
forced
general.
to, though, aren't we? Like
I feel
yeah,
like
but we
the
haven't
fact-
listened to this genre on album.
but Normandy wasn't that long ago, and they're
How
similar to
far
this.
is Will going with this? Have we listened to too much music? Now music sounds shit. Help.
I don't
Normandy
think
was
so.
2 months ago.
I don't know. I feel like because you guys don't listen to this type of music all the time, I lean into it a bit more. But like the fact that you guys have noticed it and you don't listen to it as much as I do, just kind of says it all to me. I think it's just the genre. Has the genre gone stale? Question mark.
We
Modern
can't keep clickbaiting
genre,
this shit.
yeah.
It's not going to work out.
Has
There's a
the
title.
genre
There's
gone
a title.
It's the title.
Indie a dying genre?
Other than
I'll
that,
do this in the thumbnail.
I think the fact that there wasn't any screaming in this, even though I do like it, is enough to kind of be refreshing for me because I think this is the first band I've found that goes as heavy as this with the backing music without the screamo stuff.
Mhm.
And I think that was just quite nice. My least favorite was quite difficult to pick because I thought they were all pretty fucking good.
It's a long ass song.
But I kind of went.
I was thinking the same thing.
I
Because
went.
what?
What's that?
What did Aidan say?
Oh.
It's because you do this a lot, Joey. Like, my least favorite song is, and then say a long statement rather than saying the song.
So right.
So it's always like this thing of, oh, don't remember that song on the album. Like, my least favorite song is really tricky to pick due to complicated reasons. And you're like,
It's like a Fallout Boy. title.
The only time that would be irrelevant if you were like, oh shit, it's a 1975 album. Yeah, there is a song called that.
or a Fallout Boy.
And while I was listening to this song, I fell down the stairs and broke both of my toes. Yeah, no, that's a song. Carry on.
So my least favorite song was "The Final Say," and only I think it was a pretty cool sounding song, pretty big sounding song, but it was all about how he had a shitty dad. I have a pretty cool dad, and I just didn't really.
Just like, can't relate.
Just can't relate.
Shout out to Roy.
Imagine being an orphan.
I haven't got daddy issues. Can't relate. Shit.
Shit song. You know what I mean? Like, if my dad was in the car and this song came on, I'd feel pretty bad. He'd be like, "Why is this on your playlist?"
I fucking
You know?
love this. Like, Joe's to fucking 80, whatever. And Joe's like, I'm not a prostitute, can't relate.
Small bump. Never had a
Yeah.
never had an abortion.
Never been pregnant.
Never lost a baby. So sad. Can't relate.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Well, that was the only reason. It was a pretty cool sounding song, pretty cool chorus, probably one of the heavier ones on the song, and you felt a lot of the emotion in it as well. So as a song, it's pretty good, but I just had to find a reason to, make it my worst.
Mhm.
My third favorite.
Sorry. Let me get a lighter up.
Sorry, yeah, go for it.
Objection!
So long-winded.
Unnecessary. Would you, what the fuck did you say again? I can't remember.
You're objecting something. You can't even remember what the fucking objection is.
Imagine that in a fucking court of law. Objection.
Objection.
Why?
Why?
Can't remember.
Can't remember.
Just repeat
Can't
the
remember,
statement,
sorry.
please.
Well, I just
Amber
can't remember what you
Heard's
said.
fucking
I
party.
had
like,
something for it, but
I said,
my brain just went too far with the
I
fireworks
said I had to
thing.
find a reason to make it my worst.
Right,
favourite.
is it because that
Right.
all the things that make it's similar to last week? Is it because all the things that make the songs good are also all the things that make the songs bad? And so some of the worst ones could be fucking any of them because they're all have the same structure and feel.
Yes, so very small
Sure.
differences. Like, you could like one song because it's big, but then hate another because of how big it
Because
is.
it's too big.
It's one of those albums where it's the actual like vocal hooks that change the songs rather than the backing music. Like the backing music is kind of just a blend type of thing. Like they all just have the same type of style, same sort of rhythm. Whereas it's the actual like main hook of the song that I think is the main difference for me. And I don't know. That's kind of my answer to that.
No, it wasn't satisfying. Call me Peter Pan because I didn't like hooks.
Arr. My third favourite was Hopes and Dreams. Hopes and Dreams was the first ever song I heard from this band.
Do you listen to it on shuffle or?
Hopes and Dreams' first song ever listened.
No,
First song ever.
I didn't start the album on shuffle, no. But I'd heard it beforehand because Aidan found it and put it in the Big Boys playlist, which is how I found this band because I went and listened to them.
Oh, I didn't
Had Aidan previously
put it in.
Had Aidan previously heard this album?
Yes.
I think it's
Yes.
yeah. I think he had
I had.
I'd heard it because Jared told me to listen to it.
I had it because album review.
And so, Hopes and Dreams, just a nice change up. It's the only kind of song that's I want to say different. You know what? I will mention about the song is that as much as I liked the song and the kind of emotional meaning behind it, it kind of does ruin it when you realise that the structure of the song is very weird. Like it is just it's verse, chorus, chorus. That's the whole structure of the song, and it's kind of fucking ruins it a bit when you realise that's all it is. And the verses are just the same lyrics over again.
Don't you tell me how to enjoy my music.
The themes for the lyrics are all the fucking same as well, annoyingly. Like, they're well written, but like, fuck me, it's just like every metal band write about the same fucking shit.
It's so weird, the parallels between this and the last album, even though they're completely different albums, they're almost identical in what they are.
Yeah, they really are.
I believe we call that dramatic irony, and there is a level of parallel between them.
So my top two were kind of picked based on the fact that I liked the choruses the most, more than anything. So my second favorite was Clarity. Really like Clarity. It kind of had more of the heavier aspect to it as well, and he had that kind of like it's like that middle ground where he's not screamo, but he's shouty. You know, I like it. I liked that.
Picasso.
It's not too much, but it's not too little. You know. And then my favorite was "Hold Me Now." I feel like it was just by far the best chorus, by far the most rememberable, and by far the most catchy. Shut the fuck up.
What's your opinion on the verses? I have to know.
They're fine. They're not the best verses in the whole album.
Why, Will?
Joe should have said
Why?
controversial. That's all I'm saying.
It is. But it's never controversial if I say it's controversial.
But it actually is this.
You know this. But
that is
I
top
think
pick
the
is
verses are good
controversial.
because-
Yeah.
But they went with the whole R&B like hip hop drum thing, and I quite like that.
What is Hold Me Now?
David doesn't remember it. That's not a good sign.
Well, you know what they say, Joe. It's not very memorable.
Memorable. I think
It
that-
does
for me, just by-
rememberable mean it's forgettable.
No, rememberable means you can recall it.
No,
that's memorable.
That's memorable, Joe.
So is rememberable like a double negative? Is it like means
I
it's
don't think-
forgettable?
I don't think you're allowed to say double negative. I think that's their word.
I think you got me there. Memorable. It's memorable. I don't know why I keep saying rememberable.
You do it all the time.
I know.
It's
I
just
don't know why I
ingrained
do.
in your DNA down. Maybe
Well,
Roy does it.
That was what I was telling you to fuck off about, Joe. It's not your opinion.
Oh, it was the rememberable.
Yeah,
thing.
I skip your reviews anyway when I watch it.
Will was saying the controversial part of it. I don't see what's controversial about it. Nothing bad is said in it.
No, I just mean like his pick is controversial.
After being number one.
Yeah.
Because Will's about to put it as his least favourite.
I didn't say that, but I'm just saying.
Well, I guess you could say I hit the nail on the coffin head.
But anyway,
Nail on the toe.
I think this. All in all, I really like this album, but I think it was mainly brought up by the fact that it didn't have any screamo in it, and I thought that was pretty cool. And the fact that or the melodies were actually quite catchy. Other than that, it was pretty fucking generic. But I really liked it anyway.
Have you ever listened to the radio before, Joe?
Never heard of
It rings a bell.
Because a lot of them don't have screamo in it as well.
Oh, there you go. Are they as heavy as this though?
No.
Oh, there you go.
No.
Have you ever listened to Ed Sheeran?
Yes, I have.
That doesn't have screamo in it.
No, I think Ed Sheeran is our highest rated album in album
is.
review.
Is it?
I think
It
so.
is. Yeah, I'm 100% sure it is.
Ed Sheeran.
Oh my god, Aidan! Literally, it's like going back like 10 years. Holy shit!
I'm going back for my emo phase.
Literally, like going back 10 years. Oh, you should do your hair like that more often, Aidan. That looks sick.
I'm going to do my review now.
Your hair looks sick like that, Aidan. Why don't you do it like that more?
No, it doesn't. Fuck off.
Because it's all from this side. It's literally.
So if the wind blows,
If it blew away, I'd be like, oh.
If he was a 13-year-old emo back in 2012, yes, it would be cool. But no.
Well, are you objectifying? That's so rude, that actually.
there we go.
Objection, hearsay.
Stereotyping as well. You can be whatever you want to be nowadays, Will.
Am I
That's
allowed
why
to
I
show...
choose to have a terrible
I'm not
hairline.
saying you can't be, I'm just saying.
No, you can show
I'm allowed to
brands.
the
I had a
light.
Coke
Okay.
last time, so.
Did you just ask if we're allowed to show brands?
Yeah.
Alex to was like this
I didn't know whether I was
earlier.
allowed to show the Tango Ice Blast. I don't know if
What's
I'll
that, the
show
new
brands.
ice cone?
Boxes, ice glaciers. Because they're so good.
We're sponsored. No, we're not. Fuck.
Take it back!
Oh no.
Oh, is that the new... Is that the new
This box
boxes?
is just filled with like the green and yellow ones because I don't like them.
My favourite
I like the
sweets,
green one.
boxes, glacier fruits. And my favourite phone, the
Do you eat them with or without the skin?
iTone. Oh my gosh, that's so awful. Fucking sake. Everyone knows you peel the skin back. What?
I like to
Review,
chop
is
it
it?
in half and just squeeze the ends and go, and they just fire in your mouth.
I like punching frubes until all their guts come out,
Do you want to say
and then
that
I like
again,
licking them off the side.
Pardon?
Say that again.
Oh.
Say what again?
Doesn't matter.
Did you know? I didn't know until my sister read the box the other day. I don't know why she read the box. Ignore that. She come in and she was like, "These are like fucking nearly a year out of date."
There's so much sugar you wouldn't even notice. It's fine.
I don't care. They're not going to go bad, are they? I think these are going to last like the apocalypse.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's what people store in their like doomsday bunkers.
The only things that'll be left are cockroaches in my half-eaten box of Fox's fruit glaciers.
Why did you choose to spend your money on Fox's Glaciers is what I want to know.
Because when I was like 10, I went on a school trip to PGL, and my mum bought me them to go on the way because I used to have really bad like bus anxiety.
Actually, that is actually really...
It's kind of a wholesome reason, and she bought me this bag of like Fox's Glacier fruit things, and I never ever saw them ever again after that. And suddenly, when I was sat by there really ill the other week, blasting out both ends, at 4 a.m. when I was contemplating if I was genuinely going to die or not, I thought, fuck, I remembered like a hit of nostalgia of the Fox's Ice Glaciers.
Mm.
And I was like, I need to try these one more time before
Are
I
they
die.
mints?
No,
get Fox's
the
Glacier
fruit
mints,
one.
but
They are
they are-
normally mints, but then they made a fruit range.
Right.
There's
Right.
only two good flavours, though.
Well,
The green ones
I
are
quite
awful.
like. Yeah, the green ones aren't great. Yeah,
I think
there's
that
a little
might
bit.
go
That's
to,
a bit of an Aidan lore, Aidan backstory, right
Werther's
there.
original.
I like it, I like it.
Fill it in the wiki. Aidan
The
lore.
best suck-on sweets, though, Werther's originals. The most grandad thing ever to say, but
What would you
fuck me.
find as a suck-on sweet?
Hard
Sweet
candy,
that you don't just bite into, you suck in it so it lasts a while.
like a lemon
I'm
sherbet.
hard as fuck. I bite into all sweets.
I bet
Even
you're a polo
gobstoppers.
mints kind of guy, aren't you?
No, I don't know what. I don't.
But Polo mints aren't that Tory though.
Mm.
Like I feel like there's like he would. What would he? What are like super fancy mints?
Bateman's mints, probably.
I don't really eat mints.
Alright, let's think. What sweets do you suck on, Denver?
He doesn't.
I don't. I just swallow them all.
He sucks the bacteria off pound coins. put
To
them
be
in a
fair,
machine.
Emma has a load of like the Aldi equivalent of Werther's Originals in a car.
Butterscotch.
Oh yeah, she buys me like a bag of sweets. They're just like soft gummy sweets, but they're not gummy actually. They're just like soft fruity
like
sweets.
wine gum things.
No, they're not like wine gums. They're like
the foamies, the Roundtree's foamies.
I don't know. That's the square rectangle. I don't know what they're called because I just get them in a bag.
What, like a Starburst thing?
They're kind of like Starburst, yeah, but not. But a bit bigger.
Oh,
And from Aldi.
Starburst.
Chewits?
Right. I don't know.
Chewits.
It's no point guessing. I don't know what they are. I never see them in the bag.
Do you remember those ones that they discontinued? They were like tiny little square things. They were like, I think they were Roundtrees.
That really
they discontinued
narrows it down.
them.
Do they
They're
still
like
do the
little
ones that used to have the bits that
multicolored
you could squirt the gel out of the inside, like
I
trying
want to
to
know.
splash?
Hang on, I want to know what these
Oh, I
tiny
remember
squares are.
Which one's mine or Denver's?
Yours. You
Yeah,
were
they were
talking
like
first.
it was like a purple bag.
All right, I
they were
don't
like
care
little
anymore. What's
multi-
Denver's thing?
I just said it was Starburst did like a version of Trident Splash that wasn't chewing.
Yeah, I remember those. Those were weird.
Do you remember just biting into the side of a Hubba Bubba? Just take the entire wheel and just like consume.
Oh, it would like satisfy.
I don't know what a
so
Hubba
much.
Bubba
I
is.
swallowed so much Hubba Bubba, and when I was younger, my mum was like, "Oh, it's staying in your body for like 9 years," and I think it's about time that it comes out.
Soon you're just gonna start shitting Hubba
I found
Bubba.
them. Tutti fruities.
Tutti fruities.
Tutti
You remember Tutti
Fruities
Fruities?
are
Oh, nice.
amazing.
They
Why
discon-
is it
they're
sounds like a
discontinued.
slur.
Your description kind of fits now, other than they weren't square. They were definitely.
Yes, they were
round.
fucking square.
Tutti Fruities were not.
They were
Square.
100% square. Google it.
Welcome
They
to
are
fact
definitely
checking
square.
with Denver and Joe.
It's what they do.
They
If
really
you put them
do.
in a room together with a computer, it would just be hours of fact checking each other.
It literally would, wouldn't it? Prove it. There.
Whereas me and you will, we just start looking up like freaking Rule 34 Captain Price or something.
Literally.
No way, what's he doing to Chico SARS?
What would happen if I swallowed an
Well,
entire?
Joe is
can?
correct, but I.
Oh,
is-
but
this
they have rounded edges. Oh.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying this is not what I thought Tutti Fruities were. I'm thinking of something
Sorry, you
else.
are.
I'm thinking of the little, like, domey circle ones that were covered in sugar. I thought they were
Jelly
Tutti
tots.
Fruities.
Jelly tots.
Jelly tots.
Jelly
that's
tots
what
are
it is.
banging. Oh my god, they're so sugary, but I
Jelly
could.
tots.
They are
Oh my
good.
god, we need to stop. This sweet review.
Sweet
Sweet
review.
review.
We should do a tier list on sweets.
Haribo Star Mix.
I actually would.
Top.
Like, obviously, Hat Films are doing the tier list thing at the moment. Maybe we should do a tier list.
That'd actually be a sick video. I'd be down.
What,
We
just
should
like a
we should
video
all
like
like
this?
pick a category and like you'll get to mine and it'll just be like top 10 women that have cried in movies.
Damn
Isn't
straight.
that nearly all women?
No.
Okay.
And the fact that you even assumed that is just massively misogynistic.
Andrew
Nice.
Tate be like, guarantee I cry more than most women. I mean, sorry.
I'm trying to think. Is there a? We'll stop here.
Is there an album review?
Is there an album review? Album
It's you,
review.
isn't it? It's you.
I'm just tired of this.
What album
Is
review?
my review? No, of this kind of music.
Whoa.
Nothing about this album excited me, and I was just like, "Oh, it's more of this kind of thing." I didn't think there was anything unique to it that we hadn't heard a million times. I feel like every song could have just been another random extract from another about 3 or 4 albums we've listened to. Nothing I found interesting. Nothing pulled me in.
But I thought it was like all the best bits of the metal albums that we
Maybe-
listened to.
I
Just
I
all
still
of
don't.
that.
I still don't know whether it's just I'm fed up of this music right now, or whether I just didn't have anything to enjoy about it. I just found it completely disinteresting, to the point where until today again I was like, "Oh shit, I have to listen to this album." So, yeah, I don't really have anything more to say about that because I just took nothing in from it because nothing ever.
Well, have you not even done research?
No, I couldn't be asked.
Oh,
They're from Leeds, we know that.
And I did that literally before we came online. Yes, but again, I don't know whether it's that because I thought these were just basic, or whether it's because I'm fed up of the genre. I don't know. It's hard to tell at this point. Probably a bit of a mixture of both.
Here's a quick interesting thing for you. Is that so? This band only has one album, right? They've already changed their name.
What?
Well, what were they
So
called
before they even released like the album type of thing, they were called
Baskets.
something else.
Nice.
Don Broco. It's a Twisteroo. It's actually a Don Broco album. We didn't realize.
Don Loco actually.
I'll find it, but they were called some.
Classic half facts with Joe.
Hold on.
I can't wait to find out that they were called like the Third
They were called-
Reich or something, and there's
they
a
were
very, very real reason they had to change it.
They were called
Jelly Tots?
Captives before,
Captives.
Captives.
and apparently they were forced to change their name.
At gunpoint.
All their music got removed from Spotify and some other platforms. It looks like there was a like a small band in Australia called Captives, and they didn't like it, so they had to change it to Caskets.
Oh, fuck! You can't take our name.
Well, yes. So I didn't think anything was unique about his voice, which we kind of stated before. How a lot of other bands we've listened to could have equally sung these, and yet I just didn't notice anything about it because I just had no interest in absorbing it really.
Was it that? Did you not like the sound of it, or did it just not?
It wasn't like anything was like, oh God, switch this off. But I was just like, oh, I've just heard this a million times, and nothing ever. There'd only be like odd little bits and odd songs. I'd be like, oh no, we're back to how it is, and I don't know. I just didn't have interest in it really, and I say it's not because anything was bad per se. Just generally, I was listening to the songs and I kind of just wrote. I was just like meh to all the songs, like not bad, but also doesn't grab me. It always started off relatively well though, so I always got hope for like the first two songs, and then it was kind of like meh. Least favorite, Hold Me Now. Because it made me realize that this album is boring.
Oh my god!
Because the intro's kind of all right. The hooks are all right. It does sound like an intro-y song. I'll give it that. It's a bit long. Then you get Glass Heart, which is a big, feely song. You're like, yeah, this is all right. Maybe this is going to be one of those classic sort of 6 out of 10 albums, you know, a bit better than Bang Out, but all right. And then it just kind of nosedives after that point. And because I feel so indifferent about a lot of the songs, the fact that Hold Me Now was that next song was kind of the excuse for why that ends up in the firing line. Equally worse that I was nearly going to put was Clarity, because how dare they name a song called Clarity after Zed's Clarity?
For God's sake.
But this is only because, like I say, so many of the songs are just like, man, I felt the same about. So it was only these random, arbitrary things that made me pick it as my least favorite or whatnot.
You know what, Denver? I get you. But what I don't like is that neither Will or Aidan have come to defend the album, and that's what worries me more than your review.
Well, they might start their review off with, "Fuck you, Denver. You're wrong, and this is why."
Nah, they would have piped up.
No, I agree with Denver in a sense, but I also think there's the music's still good while being, I don't know, you'll see.
I think the backing music's good, but again, it just sounds very similar across all the songs.
I mean, as much as Denver is an awful human being, there was one thing that he said that I was like, oh yeah, you know, and it's the bits where like they do like a good like hook or a lead line or something, and then the rest of it's just the most generic drivel of like a verse or whatever. It's just the same thing that we've heard a million times from hundreds of other albums that you've picked, which we then have to put a 1 on the end of while you rate it a 10.
Well, we all have ones in it, I guess, in the end.
Yeah, but I thought it lacked all the shit that made those albums bad, and just had
not necessarily.
But maybe we're just finding out. Like, you replace that screamer, and they just put generic in.
It also, I think, it highlights the singers aren't super great. Like it
It
definitely
does sound
needed,
great compared to awful.
yeah, exactly. It needs the contrast of somebody yelling for their life for it to like.
Whereas
I don't
Issues,
think so.
he was still great
was
on his
great.
own.
I thought the singing was great. So.
No, he is good.
Mm.
It's not great. He's good.
But when I think it needed that contrast of when he did the shouty parts, and he did the shouty parts. So.
They had the acoustic song to kind of show his normal voice without the.
Don't get me like
overly-
I feel like you're getting the wrong impression here. Like I'm not attacking it or anything. Like I do still like the album.
Mm.
It's just like I just meant that Denver's not wrong with the point that he made.
I agree with it.
Which is weird because normally
Yeah, I
he
get
is.
it. I definitely get it. I see where he's coming from.
Now let me make some statements that you completely disagree with now. So third
I
favorite.
was sorry. Yeah.
That way.
just cut that there and
Just put at the start of every review you do.
Let me say something that people are gonna hate.
Let me say some controversial things.
In fact, Denver, do you know when you just do your album picks like every time and change the intro to yours just being album review, this is the album. Now let me say a bunch of things you disagree with. That should
You
be your
took that
intro
a
every
totally
time.
different way.
Literally.
I like that you took it a really wholesome way, and I meant like Denver's gonna say something that's gonna get us cancelled immediately. Now it's time to say my favourite word that rhymes with digger.
For fuck's sake.
Bigger.
Trigger.
Third favorite, Nothing to Hide. I thought that it was just a tiny little peek in the just madness, and it was kind of like, oh. And I wasn't sure if that was just because, it's finished, or whether it was actually because it was better. But again, don't know.
No matter
Nothing
what
to
I
Hide
do.
is the third favorite. Second favorite, Glass Heart. Actually thought it had a big feel, and I thought the song was all right as opposed to.
See, I thought
meh.
that was the most generic metal core type song that was on the album.
Yeah, it didn't.
But
tickle
maybe
my
I think
pickle.
it's generic good though. Like whereas the other is just generic meh.
Generic
Is that-
neutral.
Isn't that one of the most popular one on the album as well?
It
Yeah,
It
it is,
is.
yes.
It's gonna be
And you
it's
know
the most
me.
generic metal.
I
single,
like to
isn't it?
pick the most popular.
But that could-
Because I'm
Well,
down
that
with
could
the
be
kids.
true. What about your first favourite though?
The first favourite is Hopes and Dreams. Because it's just a bit of a slower, nicer feel.
Damn,
And
I thought you were saying
actually-
that one was boring.
I don't know if I'm changing, because on the last two albums, the slower, typical not Denver picks have been my favourites. But
I think it's because we've had albums that have similar styles, so when it breaks it up, you notice it a lot.
Hmm.
and I think it's done well,
Mm.
that song. And it was the genuine song where I thought this is actually a song I enjoy to listen to, as opposed to everything else I could take or leave.
Mm.
And I think it works really well with his voice. I don't know whether I'd then prefer a whole album of that kind of thing, or whether it just sticks out because it sticks out well against the meh. I don't know, but it was by far and away my favourite on the album. Kind of from almost day dot with it, really. And the rest of them, I could listen to the album again and pick a different second and third, or even least favourite, really. The least favourite could be my second favourite tomorrow. But Hopes and Dreams will always be my favourite, I think, on this album.
Okay.
What an inspirational speech.
Very
Martin Luther King Jr. right here.
Get it on a t-shirt.
Shoot him in the spine.
Yeah, paralyze him for life.
Aidan.
Well, I mean, I suppose he was paralysed for life because he didn't last that much longer, did he?
If you're dead, are you paralysed?
It's like if you jump out of a plane without a parachute, you got the rest of your life to think about it. Even if the rest of it's only about 5 seconds. Joe, can you call it in? If you were a SWAT team and you were about to go into a room, what would you do first? You'd probably throw something in, wouldn't you?
What if I was a SWAT team?
Yeah, if you were to throw something into a room, what would it be?
What would it be? Probably like a hardback book.
A hardback book. If you're a SWAT team, come on, Joe. You
A
gotta give me
flash
this.
grenade.
Ah! I love the bit every time. It's just so bright. Since Denver didn't do the actual reviewing, it looks like I'm going to have to step in and find some facts out for you. Fun fact about this album: they had a room full of the most generic, boring punk and metal writers that they could find to write all the songs.
Was it done by themselves, the writing?
Yes, this isn't actually a fun fact.
I was going to say, I was like really confused. Then.
You were
I was like, who?
Well, it says it's written by a bunch of people, but I don't know if that's just. I think that's just the band members.
It's probably the same team
There's 6 of them
that wrote the song "Who Run the World," "Girls" by Beyonce.
Are you surprised there's 6 of them? There's a lot of sounds.
Oh, hang on. No, someone must be an extra one because on the cover they only have 5.
There's one guy that kind of looks like me, to be fair. Like, I mean, I'm giving myself way too much credit, but like,
drummer and a vocalist. Yeah, it'd be 2 guitarists, a bassist, drummer, and a vocalist, right?
you know, if you look in the middle there and you squint really hard, it's like Ollie Sykes versus a goblin.
Why do you think no band goes with 2 drummers?
Because it'd just be a mess. Could you imagine?
Oh, I would love that.
Like one of them's out of time, and you can just hear it, and they're like, "It's you," and they're like, "No, it's you."
There's not enough bands who focus on drums, I think, and that is. I know you're going to say.
I don't know. I think
melody.
there is, but drums never set the melody. There's one song that I can think of that comes to mind where drums set the melody.
Oh yes, the Superman theme.
Taylor Swift, "Shake It Off." The whole thing, the whole backing melody to that is just drums.
What the fuck? You could have said fucking "In the Air Tonight" or something, but no, you chose fucking
"In
Taylor.
the Air Tonight."
That's only like in the bridge bit though. Like, yeah, like.
And then it's throughout the whole song. Or "We Will Rock You."
Is it "Hot for Teacher" by Van Halen? With that sick drum solo at the beginning.
Why is there just not more drum solos? Like, it's just there's never enough emphasis.
I think it would get.
You need to look that one up. Will. You'd
what
like
the
that
hell
one.
is "In the Air"? Oh.
Yeah, Van Halen, "Hot for Teacher." I might be saying that wrong. It might not be Van Halen. "Hot for Teacher" though. You need to look it up. The beginning of it is so good.
Yeah, "Hot for Teacher" is great. What is the
but like specifically the beginning. The fact that you're
the
not
drumming's
even
amazing at the start.
No. See, the fact that you're even saying this, it's like this would normally blow your tiny mind.
What?
Go and listen to it when you get a chance.
No,
Not now,
"In
though.
the Air Tonight" is a good shout. Actually.
Oh yeah, what does it start like then? Well, give me the drums. Do the drums with your
I'm
mouth.
not doing the drums with my mouth.
Yeah, because you don't know.
I do know it.
Oh yeah, of course you
Anyway.
do. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Joe, am I boring you?
No.
All right, good. Would you like to know another fact?
Yes.
Go for it.
You can't say the word arthritis with your tongue out.
Arthritis. Nice.
Nailed it. Give me another fact.
That was not even a fact. I just wanted to see who would do it. Will do that.
You knew I was going to do it.
Yeah, it's just the same as literally as I said earlier. It's a weird parallel between the most recent album that we've done and this one because they're both very similar in a lot of ways. They have the same they have their own reserved style that they stick to throughout the whole thing. They write about the same thing throughout the entire time. They never really divert from what they're doing. There's a lot of parallels, and I struggle to tell the songs apart.
That's bullshit.
No,
that is bullshit. They all have very unique hooks and very.
No, I just mean when you're in the verses, you're just like, where am I? And then the chorus, you're like, oh yeah, and it's the verse again.
Right, in a sense, I agree with that in the terms of, right, the choruses themselves are the best parts about each song, and they stand out. However, literally, you guys naming the songs, I'm like, which one was that? I have no idea.
Yeah, exactly. No.
So they don't stand out in terms of, like, I know that song's that song. You know what I mean? Like,
okay, yeah.
I do think their choruses are
I can get
great.
And that's kind of it. Like, I didn't actually have any real facts. Because I'm not a loser that looks things up, you know? Worst for me was "The Only Ones." Write that down, Devo, come on.
Yep,
sorry. Not necessarily even the worst. It was the last album was the same. What separates a bad song from a good song is so minuscule that it could have been like 10 of these songs. Could have been like a load of them. But just, you know? Third favourite for me, "Nothing to Hide," because saying it got me out of a prison sentence once.
Fuck's sake. I have nothing to hide. Alright, innocent.
Done.
You may leave.
I'm convinced.
Second favourite for me was "Lose Myself." It had a nice little halftime breakdown thingy at the end of the choruses. That was nice. It was cute. I liked it. But number one, of course, by a country mile, Hopes and Dreams.
Hang on, was it Lose Myself?
Is it Lose Myself or
It is, but it's spelt with one O. Oh, that makes sense.
Lose Myself.
Yeah. I put it in my notes as Love Myself.
Nice, good.
That's ironic, really, isn't it? Fucking hell.
If you don't love yourself, who's gonna love you?
Someone else.
Anyway.
I don't know. Can't relate. Can't relate. Number one, obviously, Hopes and Dreams. So good. It's by far the best song on the album. The most contrast is great, and obviously this was the song that I put in the Big Boys playlist, and I was like, oh, let's go listen to the album, and I listened to it, and I was like, yeah, it's good. And then obviously now I've been forced to listen to it for album review. I'm like,
I think it's
good.
a great song, but it's not as good as like 1,000 other acoustic key songs.
Fuck, honestly, lad, I would walk across the entire Sahara Desert without any food or water for absolute days to find out who the fuck asked you for your opinion right there.
What would you say is the best acoustic song?
Ever?
Best acoustic song ever.
Hey there, Delilah. 100%.
No, what's that one by A Day to Remember? If it means a lot to you.
Oh, that was
I do
actually a
love
shout,
that.
Drew.
But then it builds to the electric, so technically.
Rival Summers, though?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Tired Eyes by Rival Summers.
That's
Oh.
true.
Oh, cans are falling.
It's a ghost. It's a ghost of Rival Summers. Yeah, overall, another fun fact for you. If you smell gas in a room, use a lighter to see where the leak's coming from.
Nice. You'll soon find out if there's a leak or not.
Yeah, drink bleach because it gets rid of COVID. Okay. A lot of things have been said already, obviously, because I'm the last fucking person, so it usually comes down to
Fantastic,
this.
so you can go
However,
rapido.
I think this album was very good, but also I'm kind of in the middle because I really enjoyed it and I really liked the style of the songs. I thought the singer was really good. The writing was good, while very samey in each song. The choruses were all fantastic. I fucking loved the choruses. Like, genuinely all had a great hook. And I was just waiting for the chorus in every song. The verses, however, lacked
Writing.
lacked variety. But genuinely, the choruses was so fucking good. Like, I can't fault the choruses at all. And yes, while they're similar styles, I do think that they all stand out for the choruses and only the choruses. The verses are kind of all just typical anything. But
Typical
I agree with Joe in
chorus.
saying that this album is great in terms of it's like a nice mix of this genre, but almost like not perfected, but in a sense it kind of is, because it doesn't. There's no bad parts about it, which with a lot of these albums there definitely is. There's usually something that sounds awful. I don't think there's ever anything that sounds awful. But there's right. It's well written, but all the fucking songs, very similar themes and typical of this genre, which I'm kind of sick of. I wanted a more happy song or just like a this style band to make something less about how much they're fucking struggling, which I guess is the.
God, I wish less people were fucking struggling.
Oh no, but fucking write about something else, man. Like, come on, like it's always about the same fucking thing with these bands.
Stop writing about your feelings.
Oh, but do you know what I mean? Though, like, it gets a bit like, oh fucking hell, yeah, we get it.
Best
like
song.
you're all struggling, but come on, there's something else in your life you can fucking write about. Like, anyway,
Best song not written about feelings. Go.
Come Out to
I'm
LA.
hooked on a oh no, wait, that one.
Come Out to LA is not
No,
about
Hooked
feelings. I
on
don't
LA.
think. I don't know. I thought the production was pretty
Animals.
good.
By
Just a bunch
Nickelback.
of animals.
Oh,
I thought you meant was it
Architects?
Architects?
Yeah, I thought you
Bunch
meant-
of fucking animals.
Oh, maybe.
Again, that's all. That's again about fucking their. Anyway,
Photograph.
I thought the production was good, like in terms of it, everything sounded quite clean, but it kind of gets into a bit of a mess because of there's just a lot going on, typical of this genre. I thought the backing in all the songs was very similar. Again, typical of this genre. But there was definitely some switch ups that made it not sound too. It didn't stand out too much because I thought again the choruses took you away from that. I think I've said it again, but it has got a great voice, and I think it stands out in that acoustic song that he has got a good voice. And I wish he did a bit more with it because he's clearly got that range to do it. While the album was good for not having screams, I don't know whether at times it would have actually added to it to add a bit more flavor, add a bit more variety. I feel like maybe he can't scream, so that's not why they've included it. And usually I wouldn't ever say this, but I do think it might have actually added something to some of the songs.
Do you think that they saw our album review and how much we hated Screamo and thought we can't put any of that in, and now they're thinking, fuck's sake?
But I don't know. I don't hate Screamo though, but like, it's just I feel like it could have added to it if they got like a good Screamo artist in for a couple of the songs or something. I don't know.
Maybe they would have just been easy my least favourites on the album.
While I think that maybe if this album was longer, I think the similar style would have stood out a lot more. This is where I think this benefited compared to the last album because, like we've said, they're quite similar in things we're saying. But I feel like because the NF album was so fucking long, you were so sick of it by the end. I never got sick of this album, like, because
all just like tolerance, isn't it? Because it's.
This didn't.
See, I felt like this album was still too long.
I didn't feel like it was long at all. Like it kind of, it was easy to get through, and I didn't ever not want to listen to it. So I do think the shortness of the album and the pacing of it was quite well done, and again with it having that softer song in the middle, definitely helps the pacing again. In terms of rate, I don't think I could rate it too highly. While I really enjoyed it, because of the similar styles and themes and everything, in terms of if you like rating it as an album as a whole, it's like it has to be brought down by the similarities between the songs because like there is just too much.
Wow.
That's the sad thing because I feel bad because I really fucking enjoyed this and I really enjoyed it. I just thought it was great, but it gets kind of it's just like as if like do more. Like I'm hoping the next album they experiment a bit more because they clearly can. They're just not doing so. That's basically so. I basically agree with a lot of what you're saying, but I think the choruses and the general making of them definitely helped it. At least it didn't sound bad while also having all those qualities, if you know what I mean. Worst for me was Hold Me Now, mainly because, and this is why I said it's controversial, because Joe picked it as first. The chorus is fantastic, like in every other song, but the fucking verses are just, I thought all the verses in this album were kind of lacking, and that for me stood out as like the most lacking verse-wise. I thought it was just a bit, it's so boring, and you can't.
Was this your least favourite?
Yeah.
Is this your least favourite? Fucking hell.
But again, Joe, like the chorus is amazing, and it was really hard to pick a worst. Probably like you said, Aidan, because of the similarities between all the songs and how they're written and put together.
I did say that, yeah.
But I just think the verse that was the weaker out of all of them, in my opinion. Third for me was Glass Heart. It had a great chorus, and was really well produced, and you could tell why it's the number one because it's the typical it's well like put together and produced and everything, and it sounds great. Good chorus. It just kind of had to be my top three for that reason. Second for me was Hopes and Dreams because it was a really nice switch up. Really nice switch up. His voice sounds really nice in it, and like I say, I think it needed to be there to break up the album a bit.
I also think Hopes and Dreams is one of the only ones that has hard contrast in its own song.
Yes, it does.
It's almost like the verses and the chorus are two completely different songs.
Yeah.
However, number one, and forgive me, I don't think any of you have actually said it in your three, but this song fucking blew me away. I actually loved it so much, and that is Drowned in Emotion the
that
chorus
such a good
is
song.
so fucking punchy.
He does start on that high note, doesn't
yeah.
he?
Oh my god! And the whole song for me, the chorus is just like one of the best choruses I've heard in a metal song. I loved it so much. Like the punchy drums to the sound of him singing was fantastic. Like, again, the theme of it is very similar to all the rest of the songs, but it kind of hit harder because of the way he was singing it, along with the backing. That it blew me away as soon as I heard that, and it actually stood out, which a lot of the songs didn't because of the lack of variety. But that I was like, fuck it, I love this. I listen to it all the time. It's actually fantastic.
I get that.
You've just convinced me to put it on my playlist.
Oh, it's so good. Like, I'm obsessed with that song.
Can you convince me? You convinced Joe, but can you convince me?
I don't have much more to say. Aidan, put it in your playlist, please. Convinced? No. Objection. Put it in your playlist, please. No?
No.
Okay.
You can't object any more than that.
As a whole, I thought it was very
trade offer. You receive song, I receive nothing.
No. As a
good trade, no.
As a whole, I just think it's a great vocals, great, really well written. However, backing is too similar, and it needs more variety. And it's too typical of just every other metal band for me to be rated too highly. But I really did enjoy it. So
wow, thank you, Will.
If there was more variety, it could have been honestly up there with like being a 10. Like I fucking thought it was fantastic, but it just really.
What do you think?
You
know, you said variety. What would you add?
I don't know, just like more instruments, honestly, because the guitar sounds so similar in each song. Like it's just
more instruments.
They're all using like.
We're in hard times
now.
All the same you can't buy multiple guitars.
No, he meant like a didgeridoo.
No, just like you
like
can
an Aborigine
guitars,
instrument.
but had more.
Because they'll be like singing, and if I fall away.
Every song needs some Mongolian throat. We need to agree.
You know what I mean, though? Just like have the guitars, but fucking have some.
It's a bit more shaboom.
Shaboom. Or like that synthesizer from Walk the Moon.
What was that genre called?
Oh, what? Doo-wops and hooligans or whatever. Was it doo-wop?
Yeah, doo-wop genre.
No. We need the synthesizer from Walk the Moon. And if I fall away,
it could just like if they just added like some harmonies, added some more synth, did more emphasis on the drums because I feel like they got overshadowed quite a lot, which is why I like
saxophone
so much in Drowned in Emotion. Not sure that would work in this.
Pan flutes,
but more like backing singers would be great.
Well, there's 6 of them. How many more do you want?
But you never hear them. Like, when do you hear like the harmonies or backing?
I guess they just can't sing.
Or you just can't hear them because of the fucking
terrible production. Speaking of, no one's brought it up, but it must be okay. Subpar potentially okay production.
I said it was.
No one's really brought it up.
I said
I saw everything about it.
What did it sound in your car speakers, Denver? Yay or no?
I never actually listened to it in the car.
See, we haven't got the real review there.
I've listened to it in the car.
Hang on, let me just nip outside. I'll be back in 40 minutes.
I literally said in my review I thought it was good production. I just wish there was more in the production. Personally.
Did you say that?
I did. It was literally one of the first things I said.
I agree with that.
Yikes. My bad.
I don't think there was anything wrong with the production.
No, it sounded very clean.
No, but that's what I was asking. Because
they could have added. They could have added more. Yeah.
It was just mixed, basically.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
And there was like nothing extra. I feel like added or depth to the songs. It was just mixed.
Cool, yeah, but it was they did the cool drum thing.
I feel so bad when they're gonna listen to this review and be like, "But we put so much effort into it. Spent hours in the office mixing." And oh my god, Joe!
This is so.
What's going on?
Do we have to put on like
this
a
is what happens when you
warning?
spend all day playing with your fucking remote.
No, I wasn't even playing with the remote.
What was that?
Let's rewind that.
Oh my god.
That
There
was
we
so
go.
intense.
It really was, and it like ruined Joe's camera for a bit. It went like super bit rate.
Joe,
You
you
to
look
see that.
insanely
Yeah.
purple now as well, like more purple than you did before. Look at
I might,
the
it might be a
stream.
different shade.
You look
Hold on.
You ever
ridiculous
seen
right
when
now.
Veruca Salt eats the
There we go.
blueberry?
We'll change it to blue. There we
Is
go.
it the grape thing? Do you remember that, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
What's that?
Will, I don't know why, but you strike me as somebody that when you watched the remake of the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory thing, you would have thought it was the best film ever.
I really did enjoy the new one, yeah.
So
This is perfect now.
What have you done?
The police are outside.
Are they actually? I can't tell if you're
No, this
joking
is
or
just
not.
fucking monitor light shit.
It is. It just kind of looked like there could be police outside now.
Yeah,
though,
it
right?
really does.
It does, yeah.
Happy Star Wars Day, everyone!
It had a
Today's
warning on my
also
phone
birthday.
That is such a
So
good
we know
thing.
she's in there.
The funny is, before I just did that, then it came up on a warning on my phone saying like epilepsy warning.
Your backing's
Hang
gone
on.
so dark as well, Denver.
Epilepsy warning.
If you turn
Please
the
on
lights
route.
off.
No, this is the lights now. They're on full brightness normally. So hang on, I'm gonna.
Yeah, but
have to
like
just
you're
put
so
them
much
back
darker.
on.
Oh, there
Oh.
you go.
Wow.
So yeah, that's
There we
my
go.
that's my review.
Right?
That's fantastic.
Ratings.
Hang on,
8
Joe.
point-
Okay, no,
Oh.
no, keep going, keep rolling, keep rolling.
8.5.
8.5.
Well,
3.
you also. Oh,
3?
fucking hell. 3? I give it a 6.
I give it an 8.
Nice. Very varied ratings there.
Again,
Very,
it's
very
weird
ratings.
because we said very similar things, but I feel like it obviously affected the liking of the album more for someone.
Differently.
Yeah.
Well, some people are just different, you know. And
Some
quirky.
people are built
A
different.
3
Some
is
people-
harsh.
Some people would rate an album a 3.
I told you I was going to give it a 6, Will.
I know.
It's almost like I just said it out loud. And then lied about it through my teeth.
Joe, is it a
Well
thumbs up
done,
or a
well
thumbs
done,
down?
Detective Joe.
It's a thumbs up.
Good.
Strong thumbs up.
We need to get a thumbs down in it now. It's been a bit consistent.
Oh, don't worry. If Will picks the album, I think he's gonna.
I'm not going
Defo thumbs down.
So
Is
my
it
pick,
Kanye West?
The next
so my
album.
pick has
Is
changed.
it the new Panic album?
No, I was going to pick an album, and then it changed because Aidan fucking saw it, and I was like, fuck's sake, I can't pick it now.
Will
The
was
surprise
bearing
is
in mind,
gone.
Will was
I was
still streaming.
it, I forgot.
His screen.
I'm so sad.
And I watched as he typed in, and I
I'm
was
so
like,
sad.
really?
It ruined the surprise. And then I picked another
Yeah, but
album.
You always get the surprise anyway, so why does that matter?
What?
Because what?
I like surprising it for everyone else.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
Will's-
we
no, no,
never
no,
get
no,
to
no, no,
surprise
no.
you.
Will's the
That's fine,
protagonist
but
of album review.
I like
don't
other
they?
people to be surprised.
Yeah, it's like Christmas when your
I don't
parents
mind.
before you knew Santa didn't exist, and your parents like just had to sit there while you were thanking Santa, even though they bought you everything.
As long as everyone else is having fun,
I
don't
still
mind.
thank Santa.
I
Everyone
didn't
else
know the
can
new
have a
Panic
surprise.
album came out. When did the new Panic album come out?
About 2 weeks
2
ago.
weeks ago.
I
Did it?
said, but not. I'm just looking. None of them are at the top of his like
Hmm.
popular thing. That's weird.
Yo, you dropped off, man.
I've listened to it.
Listened to it twice and don't think too much to it.
Man, you fell off.
There's some good songs on it, but nothing amazing.
But what's the next album?
The next album, as I was saying, it was going to be one, but then Aidan saw it, and then I was going to pick another album, and then I was like, it's going to get the exact same thing said about it, so I can't pick it. So I've changed it mid-review, so the lineup could be weird in the in the square because I changed it, but obviously I couldn't see whereabouts I was putting it because I didn't want to share it on the stream by accident. So I apologise if this looks weird, but I've gone for something that might have a bit of differentiation. in
Sorry,
it.
sorry to stop you there, Will. But Dario Mero 89 asks us, "Are you able to put your leg behind your head?"
No.
Yes.
I definitely can't.
Well,
because
you
I have no
can.
flexibility at all.
Weirdly enough, I think I maybe could.
Joe actually
Does that
can't.
count?
I could if I laid down.
That's kind of cheating.
Why is that? That's so specific. Why if you laid
Yeah.
down?
If you lie on your front, your legs are behind your head.
Oh, you're such a bellend.
You actually just suck. You know that? You just suck. You don't get told this enough. You're awful.
So fucking
Genius.
shit. So the new album is Imagine Dragons Evolve. Oh my god, it actually kind of fit in the square, all right.
Ooh.
Sorry, yeah, it actually got to work. Yeah, it's because for Joe's holiday, I know. Yeah, you might.
Nice.
There's a lot of
I
there's a lot
love
more
Imagine
I like
variation in it.
this.
So see what you think.
Oh, nice. I'm actually super excited about this.
Did we do an Imagine Dragons album?
We did it. The reason you'll remember is because I almost did. It was between this album and another album, and you guys said you'd prefer the other album. So we did
I
that.
can't remember what that
I
was.
see.
I think it was Shinedown, wasn't it?
I definitely wouldn't have said that. Over
I don't
this.
think it was that recent. I think it was older than that. Shinedown's a relatively recent one.
Yeah. it was a
Anyway,
year ago.
I'm excited. This has got my favourite Imagine Dragons song on it as well, so I'm
So,
excited.
yeah.
Oh yeah, which one's that?
I can't tell you that.
Oh, is it Believer?
Maybe.
Okay. It's just because it has 2 billion views.
Oh my god!
It was just a guess. Like,
I didn't realize they were that popular. Holy shit!
They're actually
didn't
really
think
big
they
because
were.
they're quite like their songs kind of fit into a lot of
I was
cultures.
gonna
I
say,
think.
weren't they? Was it on a lot of like adverts and
It has been since, yeah.
TV shows and things?
So, yeah. Joe, any last thoughts?
Did you know
Ugh.
there is such a thing called homicidal sleepwalking? It's also called homicidal somnambulism or sleepwalking murder. In 2005, Jules Lowe was acquitted of murder after killing his father because he was sleepwalking.
That's definitely just a fucking good lawyer, isn't it? Who's invented that?